All right, so I'm going to talk about something that you've probably already heard before, but even if you have, we've heard this before, but we tend to what? Forget. We know what's right, we know what's wrong, we know what's good for us, we know what's bad for us, but we forget. We forget, okay? We forget things. So it doesn't matter what your current situation is, whether you are in a relationship, where you're living, where you're working, or what other people expect of you. If you don't like something about your current life, and I know you've heard this before, right? You have the power to change it. We have the power to change it. If we don't like something, we have the power to change it. And most likely, yes, it won't be easy, but nothing worthwhile is easy. And I've lived long enough to have experienced firsthand over and over and over and over again that nothing worthwhile is easy, right? So there are these little changes that you can make. And then there are, these major life overhaul changes, okay? And we often get stuck in the little changes, right? So we get stuck, and when I say little, okay, don't, take it out of context, right? But we get stuck in a certain place, in a certain job, in a relationship, working at a particular company, somewhere where we do not feel fulfilled. It's not passion fueled, not passion driven at all for you, right? We get stuck in these situations and these places. And sometimes it's even, stuck in some bad habits, right? Sometimes it's not a place, it's actually, habits, stuck in bad habits, right? And many times, if we hate our job or our current location, you're living in a city and you don't like the city and you're fed up of the people and the culture and whatever it is, you're just, you want to get out, you're ready for change, and you're just sick and tired of living where you're living, right? And even though these things feel painful, we stay in the unhappy relationship. We stay at a job where we're not being fulfilled. We stay in a city where we're not happy. We stay in a home where we're not happy. We stay. And even though it really sucks, even though we're not truly living and we feel somewhat dead inside, we stay. Seriously, why is that? I mean, we have this one life to live, and it passes by pretty fast. And the only person who has control over how, where, and with who you spend that time with, and whether or not you enjoy it, for the most part at least, is you. It's me. It's us. And I'm here to tell you that at any moment, in any moment, you can make different choices and change the direction. You are the pilot. You are the director. You are the person in charge. So why do we stay stuck with what we don't like? Why do we do that to ourselves? Why? There are so many examples of people choosing to stick with something they don't like, right? And I'm sure you've got a few, and maybe that's you. How many people do you know are in abusive relationships, but yet they don't leave? How many people wish they could quit smoking or drinking or overeating, but yet they can't? So many people get up day after day after day after day and force themselves to go to a job that they despise, do things that they don't like, but they still do it day after day after day after day. And I'm not pointing the finger here because listen, I can relate to all of the above, okay? I mean, that was a part of my story for so many years. So why do people not take hold of their power and create the life that they dream of? We have, every single one of us, we literally sit back and have visions of the life we want to live, things we want to do, places we want to go, ideas we want to bring to life. And I don't have all the answers, that's for sure. But here's what I do know, is sometimes we doubt ourselves and just don't believe that we have the tools, the resources, or strength required to make the necessary changes. We have that, and we are more comfortable with what we know. past experiences, current circumstances, then stepping into the unknown, out of our comfort zone, our not so comfort zone, even when we know it's bad for us. And fear is a great stopper for a lot of people. Fear for many is crippling. You see, we don't want to feel the pain and uncomfortable feelings that come with a lot of changes. For instance, if you used to be a smoker, I'm sure quitting smoking seems like a lot of painful work for many. I've never smoked. I don't know what that feels like, right? But I've been told by many smokers that they were miserable, unhappy, depressed every day for like the first 2 months. And that's a long time to suffer, especially when you know, right, that picking up a cigarette or a pill or a drink or a drug, and by the way, a toxic relationship is similar to a drug, wink, wink, right? The very thought of going through those changes, knowing that it's so easy to just pick up the cigarette, pick up the drink, do the drugs, swallow the pill. It would be so much easier to do that versus the hell you feel like you're living through in those first 2 months, or for 2 months or 3 months, whatever it is. The thought of those painful days and moments is what stops most people from making the change. And I would say positive changes involve some kind of pain. Oh yeah, we all have experience with, I'm going to use dieting as an example, right? Some form of dieting, whether I'm going to cut out sugar or I'm going to stop eating carbs, right? And you feel like you're depriving yourself and you get hungry and irritable and, the list goes on, all these negative, real, just ill emotions and feelings. You decide to take up a new exercise routine. And you get frustrated, your body starts aching, and you get all sweaty and out of breath, and so on and so on. Or you decide to move to a new city and you're lonely at first and you don't know, where anything is or where you're gonna meet some new friends, and you feel discombobulated. And people don't generally like pain and would rather suffer on, with what they're currently doing. They would rather suffer with the bad habits and where they feel stuck in these unhappy places and spaces than to make the change, than to just decide, right? Even though the pain of change is usually temporary, we still shy away from it. We avoid it altogether. And so how do you change your life? How do you come out of that space or circumstance? Or how do you tap into the power that you have to change any circumstance or situation that you're in? And I know this is such a broad topic because there are literally millions of changes that you can take in your life. And they're obviously they're all so different. But all major changes begin with a few simple steps. Number 1, strengthen your self-esteem. Strengthen your self-esteem. You are stronger and more powerful than you think you are. So sit down and literally make a list. Make a list of all the times that you overcame something difficult in your life. And remember those times when you were full of confidence. You tapped into that power and you were full of confidence and you succeeded. Remember those times. Write them out. What were you doing? What were you doing? What did you do? What was your faith like? Who inspired you? Who motivated you? And if you can't think of anything or anyone, imagine what it feels like when you succeed at making the change, whatever that change is for you. Imagine what that would feel like, right? Imagine yourself after it's completed, after it's done, and know that you are strong and you can do this. So read stories of others who have done it. There are so many people who have probably done something, accomplished something that you are striving to do or to be, right? And if they can, so can you. Step number 2 is let go of the past. Just because you were a certain way yesterday or last month does not mean that you have to be that same person today or tomorrow. Just because something's always been that way doesn't mean you have to carry it into the future with the new you, right? So what was doesn't have to be what is. What was doesn't have to be what is. So step out of your comfort zone and embrace newness, even if it means being uncomfortable for a while. This too shall pass, I promise you. It probably won't kill you, okay? It probably won't kill you. So number 3 is realize that everyone decides how happy they choose to be. This sounds like just so easy, but it really is that easy. You get to decide how happy you will be and how happy you want to be. I don't necessarily like the word happy. I prefer joy, but for the sake of this video, I think joy is internal and eternal, and I think happy is more external and temporary. But anyways, for the sake of this video, listen, people will always guilt trip you into doing things that they want you to do. They have a way of making you think you're responsible for their lives or for their level of happiness, and that just isn't true. Everyone has to decide for themselves if they choose to be happy or not, regardless of what's going on around them. You are not responsible for making other people happy. Yes, okay, maybe you're a parent, and I get that. Of course, your children come first. But know that it's okay to make decisions that are the best ones for your well-being, even if other people disagree or attack you for it, guilt you into doing what you don't want to do, threaten to leave you, threaten to take your job away, threaten you in any way, shape, or form. You are the master of your life, not them. And the beautiful part is you are the co-creator. You get to co-create with the master, God, the master. So knowing that that is the master creator and you get to co-create with him, that in itself is inspiring to make the change, to just do it. So reclaim your power and know that it is okay to do what is best for you. So don't ever fall into this false thinking of I'm trapped or there's nothing I can do. I don't know where to go. I don't have the resources. I don't have the tools. I just can't get out of here. No, that's a lie. There's always something that you can do. Always. Take one tiny little step at a time, and then another and another and another. And before you know it, you've succeeded. You've succeeded. Considering my childhood and my upbringing, my life for more than 25 years, my life today is unrecognizable, and I'm for certain that a lot of people expected and waited for my downfall, and probably for me to just die or disappear, or thinking there's no way I would have survived what I survived, or maybe I wasn't, she's not worthy of surviving or living this life of purpose and passion and freedom and peace and love, all of which I created out of my pain. My pain was the birthing place for my passion and purpose, right? But I promise you, my transformation took a long time, a whole lot of time, and I would do it again and again and again if I had to. Remember, transformation is a process. Permanent transformation is a lifetime journey. So I'm still on that journey of discovering myself and recreating myself. I'm still on that journey of healing. It's like a lifetime thing, right? So just remember that you got everything it takes. You have everything it takes. So now I'd love to hear from you. Let me know, perhaps in the comment box below, if you've received anything, right, from this message, maybe some direction, what to do next. If you've recently made some major life changes in your life, I'd love to know and hear about that as well, right? What was that like? What did you do? How did you do it, right? Maybe you're watching this and you're currently, seeking some new changes in your life. I'd love to know about those too, right? Let's get the conversation going. So if you enjoyed this video and my view, of course, and you received a message, maybe like an aha moment, like, hey, you know what, that's true, or yeah, I can do that, or I'm gonna do this, whatever it is, let me know. Comment below, right? This is just a reminder. This video is just a reminder of how powerful you are. That's it. So give me a thumbs up and don't forget to pay it forward by sharing the video. Ciao.